One of the things that really sort of draws me to the study of the past from a faith perspective is asking a foundational question like, so when we study the past, who is my neighbour? Where does that lead us? My name's Mark Sandal, and I'm a professor of history at the King's University. One of the things I want my students to come away, almost from every class, not just the course, is to have had an encounter with the past. How does the past feel? How can we kind of grapple with the emotional dimensions of the past? For me, for my calling as an historian, is this idea of showing sort of compassion for the dead and care for the dead. And that, in a way, for me, is the central kind of organizing ethic of being a Christian historian. We tend to think of the who is my neighbour question as maybe a present question, but for historians, it's a question about the people of the past. But this really should be the motivation for us as Christian historians studying the past, that we should have this compassion for the dead. The critical thing for me about the use of Christianity as a lens is not to use the people of the past as kind of fodder for your thesis, but to actually learn to embrace them and take care of them. Really, my course on the Second World War, everyone wants this to be the good war, and I have to unfortunately tell them it wasn't. Everybody dies and it's horrific, and they find that hard because a lot of the time the things we teach them here at King's is they're having to unlearn things that either they've absorbed from the culture or the myths. That is helpful, but it's also very uncomfortable because I show them pictures of some of the guards and workers at Auschwitz, and they're sitting around having a beer and playing the accordion, and there's a guy petting his dog, and they go home at 5 o'clock and go to their families. And the idea that we're all fallen is also, if you push that idea, then is that, well, that could have been you, or that could have been me, right? And we all like to think, well, I would never. But I tell them, you can never say I would never, because the people who supported a lot of these atrocities all over the world were good, Bible-believing Christians, or good family people, or good whatever. Sometimes I talk about how one person just doing one very small thing with no real sense of what the consequence of that might be can change the world. Luther going up to the church or whatever, that's the classic moment of history was never the same after that, and he had no idea what he was going to come to. You don't know what the ramifications or the consequences of the things you're about to do might have. If you can learn to see and love and care for the dead, maybe that will help you to learn to see and love and care for the people around you today.